clear, brother.
Tyler, you got the guns out tonight.
Crystal meth clear.
Sometimes you gotta relaunch the room in order for it to properly work, I guess.
All right,
Yo, I can,
I
like,
got
walk around my
a
house
solid
with this.
45 minutes to do this. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Hey,
That'll
you.
be perfect.
I mean,
We're going right now, Dill.
All right, quick rundown so Brian knows what's up. I'm going to give a quick little intro. I'm going to explain who you are, Brian. I'm going to ask you a question in a funny way about the first time you met Marco and met Ronnie. I need you to tell that story. Marco, I need you to not interrupt the whole bunch. Ronnie, I need you to actually talk. Tyler, I need you to do what you do. And then we're going to go on from there. Does that sound good with everybody?
Si, senor.
Okay, Chief.
Let's do it. Tyler, give us a countdown.
We'll go in 15.
15 seconds.
10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go forth.
What's up? This is Tanner, your host. I'm here with the Anomalies. I got my man Marco in Iowa. I got Trash Man out in California. Tyler in the cave out in Nebraska. And our special guest with us all the way from that shithole in Illinois, the city of Champaign, our friend and your soon-to-be friend, Brian in Champaign. How's everybody doing tonight?
Great. How are you?
Pretty awesome, honestly.
Marco, you look fairly pale for a hot day. And I wish the listeners could see, but Trash Man is just like bleeding America out of his eyeballs right now with this getup. We'll have to get a picture of that out on Twitter eventually.
Just use the Hogan theme.
Tyler's showing off the guns, and I'm showing off my sunburn because I was outside for more than 5 minutes today.
I have the UPS.
He's a day walker.
One side
A little
darker
bit.
than the other.
A little bit. that's what you get for being a UPS driver. A little background on our boy Brian. He is he delivers big packages for a living, and he's also a UPS driver. He gets all the packages to all the homes for all the wonderful people in Illinois, the Champaign area. He's got a beautiful wife, Kelly. Got a couple kids. He likes a couple cold ones. Last time I did something like this with him, I think he drank a 12-pack, and we had a good time.
Yeah, I did.
A story that I've never actually been able to hear from you, Brian, that has kind of been talked about in the Twitterverse, but I never got to hear it out of your mouth, was the first time that you ever met Marco and you kind of met Trash Man. Would you mind just telling me and the listeners about this story? Because I've been dying to hear about it.
So we went over there to Indianapolis on. Thank you for having me, by the way.
Well, thanks for coming on.
So we went over to Indianapolis for the Colts kickoff party. And hey, Marco, he said not to interrupt.
Oh, shit, my bad. Oh, I just did it again.
Went over there, went to Kilroy's. We're hanging out there. I'm hanging out with Rick from Kansas. And
shout out Rick from Kansas.
I don't think he knew what was going to happen, what was going to go on, but I drank a lot of alcohol. I look over and I see this guy in fucking downtown Indy. Everybody's wearing blue and white. There's this guy standing over there with this, I think it was a black shirt.
Yeah, it was definitely black and it was definitely loud. It said Iowa across the front and probably 1 foot tall letters.
Rap and Iowa around
him. Of course.
So I automatically knew who that was. And so I went stumbling over there. I'd been there all day. We're hanging out, drinking. I don't even know what bar we were at.
We were at Kilroy's when it happened. You want me to take over this part? Because I remember how it happened.
Whenever you called Trash Man when we were at Kilroy's?
Yeah, the first time that I
remember doing that in social, didn't we?
Well, you did that actually. Let me back that for a second. I had to call him first because when we were hanging out, you had already met Pat earlier that day, but I still hadn't met him. When we were at Kilroy's, I was talking to, I think it was Todd or Sean, and then I felt somebody like tap my back, and I kind of spun around, and it was Pat. And then I made a deal with Ronnie. He said, if you meet Pat, you have to FaceTime me. And I was like, bet, I got you. So I was like, oh shit, I have to call
I
Ronnie.
remember that.
The first thing I said to him was, I have to call Ronnie right now. He goes, fuck it, call him. So I called Ronnie, and Pat got to FaceTime with him real quick. And then you took over at, it wasn't Social, it was the other bar we went to after that. You'd probably have to ask Kelly. I can't remember.
Whatever. Out Bob, Billy Bob's, or
Outlaw
Yeah.
Billy Bob's.
I remember a
Oh,
lot
I
of
don't
wood
remember.
in the background.
But
Yeah, it
also,
was,
speaking of which, where's Kelly? We have to get that out of the way.
she's upstairs working right now.
she's working. Somebody's got to pay the bills.
Right.
And clarify things sometimes.
Yeah.
No, Brian got a hold of my phone when we were at the last bar, and that was like the club bar. That's where
Yeah. Tiki Bob's.
Tiki Bob's. Yes, we walked in, and like we were part of like the crew, like where we got to skip through the waiting in line because Sean knew the bouncer, obviously, and then it was like Nick Moraldo and Connor Daly was there, Ty was there, Evan, Zito, and Brian saw the opportunity to FaceTime Ronnie, and then I'll let them figure that out.
I remember just screaming, "It's Trash Man Ronnie! Fucking Trash Man Ronnie!" Just showing everybody in the crowd, and whoever was in front of me knew that I was on the phone with Trash Man Ronnie.
You literally were screaming.
From
Yeah,
what I
I was.
understand, a lot of people had no fucking idea what you were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, you showed me to
Now that I
people
believe.
who were strangers. Like, I didn't even know who they
yeah.
were.
Yeah, that's what I said. Everybody I looked at got it. If I was walking, everybody I went past, this Trash Man Ronnie, just yelling and screaming. I remember doing that, and and then I think we did another shot, and it was just lights out. Trying to get
Hold
home.
on, one big part that you're missing here is he had my phone for what was it, Ronnie? Maybe 20 minutes, half an hour.
Probably a little bit longer than
I
half
may
an
have even
hour.
gone to the bathroom with it.
No,
I had no idea.
Kelly had your phone for a little bit.
Yeah, it was a mess, but I mean, it was fun. It was one of the funnest nights I've ever had in my entire life. You know, and I got to get smashed with Brian and Kelly, and then everybody.
Person that's told me that whenever around.
Hey,
I
Brian,
Yeah.
edit fucking point. Yeah, point your AirPod towards your mouth.
Don't yell at me like that.
Sorry.
Do you want me to put both
It's
of
just,
them in?
I mean,
Which one?
just as long as
Which one has the mic?
are you just,
Both of them.
They
Whatever.
both have mics.
yeah, because it's just super weak.
Mine are?
Yeah,
That's kind of just how he talks.
Yeah, real weak.
Yeah.
that's just way better the last time though. It's crystal clear as fuck.
We can all hear him just fine.
All right,
I can hear him
maybe
fine.
Maybe fucking. All right, go forth. Forget I said anything.
Brian, one of the funniest parts about when you had Marco's phone was when you met Zito with Marco's phone. Because you got so close to Zito and you screamed in his face. Like my phone made a crackle noise. You're like, "It's Trash Man!" And Zito, his face kind of like blew back, kind of like, you know when like a dog barks at you and you're like, "What the fuck just happened?"
Right.
That was the look on Zito's face. He looked like a dude who just got barked at, and he was like, "Who?" And then you had to repeat yourself because it was so loud that he didn't understand the words that were coming out of your mouth. And then Zito's like, "Oh, it's just Ronnie?" And that's all he said. And then I talked to Zito for a second, and then you yelled at Boston Connor. Boston Connor yelled back at you.
Yeah, we just yelled at each other the whole time.
That sounds about right.
Boston Connor is a good time, man.
Oh, yes, he is.
He seemed like it. That was one of the more interesting. He yelled at me about a Twitch stream or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
He
Boston
always
Connor's a
yells.
Fun time.
I can't get this other fucking headphone to connect.
Oh boy, Brian is having technical issues.
This cannot be the first time.
I mean-
Kelly, can you help Brian out, please?
She's upstairs. I'm in the basement.
I can yell louder. Put that AirPod to the sky, brother.
You're in my headphones.
Just put that thing to the
Only place
ceiling.
you can hear it. Yeah. Okay.
Put
She
that
has
shit in the vent. She can hear it.
she has
Well,
the
I'm-
Kelly sense. She knows when you're being an idiot.
I'm glad I got
does.
to
Oh,
finally
she
hear
does.
that story
Except
with
for
all
she
three of
doesn't-
you on the line.
Oh,
It was a really interesting night from my standpoint because
I
I
wish we
believe
could
there
have
was a
called
UFC
you-
fight going on that just finished.
Oh yeah, that was the night of some fights.
I thought.
Yeah.
I wish we could have called you during Clayton Anderson.
Oh my god, that was the best.
Dude, that guy is.
Marco
We-
sent me pictures, I think.
We
I
like
have a picture of me with him, and you can't even see my eyes. You can't my face is so swollen from all the alcohol and just fried food I'd consumed that day.
there was also
And then I got
there
2 beers, and there's a picture of it, and it's the only way to describe that whole fucking night. I'll tweet it out later. Remind me. I'll find it. I'll tweet it out later.
Please do.
Yeah.
But I had 2 beers in my hand, and that's the way I was like the whole entire time I was there.
all
Like
night.
we went out, and it was double fisted of heavy diesel.
One of the
because a
last
lot of
things you
places
said to
didn't have
me,
Busch Light.
one of the last thing you said to me was it's time to double fist.
That was
And I was
fist.
That's such a Midwestern move.
that's the point where he realized that he had to give up the phone.
Yeah, as soon
Yeah.
as he realized, hey, I can't hold 2 beers and the phone, that's when Brian's like, I got to prioritize beer over
Right.
trash, man.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I did not know that
It was-
part, but we just figured it out
Yeah.
here.
That's the only reason you got your phone back.
There may or may not have been some edibles involved.
I always
I don't know
love
about that.
recounting old stories, especially the drunken stories, because
Oh yeah.
not one person usually remembers everything, but together you kind of remember like 110% of the story. You know, a little bit of it's going to get made up, and some of it's going to get misremembered. That's what I always love going back about old drinking stories, and it's even cooler because Marco, you're in Iowa, Brian, you're in Illinois. Trashman, you've never actually met these motherfuckers, and you're out in California.
Yeah.
I just love hearing it. It was probably daytime when you were talking to these guys.
No, it was night. It was damn
It
late
was
where they
nighttime
were.
in my eyes a whole lot that night.
Well, your eyes were so squinted over. Of course, it was goddamn night. That was the funniest part. I didn't know if your eyes were open or not the whole time.
It
I don't know
was
if you-
it was an insane night. That's
They may
for
not
sure.
have been.
The messed
I
up
just-
part is all 3 of us were hammered, but we still remember a lot of it.
Proud of you.
Yeah, that was.
Wait,
that was a
Marco,
fun
am I?
night.
No, different night. I was thinking about. I thought that might have been the night I sent you the picture of me laying on top of the dumpster, but different night.
That sounds like a story we need to hear.
Well, do you remember that photo?
You said it on Snapchat, didn't you?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Drunk photos
And
only
of course.
blown on
And I,
Snapchat.
yeah, because I didn't get a
How
chance to
is
save
this
it.
not your logo? How is this not your company logo?
What me? What me? Right now?
A trash man laying on top of a trash can, or like a big ass trash dumpster.
That is a
Well-
great idea.
I mean, it is a great idea.
I mean,
The
you
best
could pitch
part-
that to waste management.
Yikes!
See how that will go.
Wow, Tyler.
Wow.
Way to bring in the corporate assholes.
But no, the funniest part about that was the local police department drove by when I was laying on top of the dumpster, and they told me to get off of it because it was private property, and I yelled back that I own the dumpster so they can fuck off.
Oh shit!
The only guy in the county that can say that and mean that.
Oh fuck! That's awesome.
That's hilarious.
So
That
let's
was
Hold
Let's-
on.
an interesting.
So did
night.
they fuck off?
Yeah, the guy left, and then another YPD showed up, and it was a guy who used to be a drinking buddy of my dad's. And he walked up and he said, "Ronnie, are you drunk?" And I said, "I'm laying on a dumpster. Of course I'm drunk."
Oh, I knew if I squeezed that lemon a little harder, some more juice would come out.
Well, I was waiting for my wife to walk from the other bar with her friends, so I just decided to sit on the dumpster because it's in front of one bar, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll just wait for him." And I ended up being there for like good 30 minutes or so. And
Yeah.
YPD travels around that bar quite a bit.
I guess I can't talk shit. This was in my early 20s, which is where you were. So
40 years ago.
fuck off. I'm on the Iowa Illinois border. So there's 3 different bridges that cross over in Illinois. Well, over in Illinois downtown in the district, they had like awesome bars, especially when you're in your young 20s. But I got a ride over, and then I was too drunk where I was like, I'm ready to go home. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to walk across the bridge. Well, I made it all the way to the sign that says, welcome or leaving or whatever. And I decided to just take a nap behind the sign. I slept there for like 45 minutes, and I got up and I walked across that motherfucking bridge.
Very nice.
Well done.
It happens.
Well done. Very well done.
Let's shift gears a bit. I want the listeners to learn a little bit more about Brian. Brian's part of our crew on the internet, a friend that few of us have met. Only Marco's had the privilege or problem of meeting. We pick on each other a lot. We've never actually met each other, Brian, but you are one of the best shit talkers I know, and you're going to be very modest and deny that right away, I'm sure. But I won't give it the opportunity to. But tell the listeners a little bit about you.
By the way.
Your favorite sports teams, what you enjoy doing besides drinking Busch Light, because I think that's an obvious thing. But if you had to give a little 30-second speech about yourself, let's hear it.
I'm a Michigan Wolverines fan and everything.
Boo.
You didn't have to lead off with that.
Yeah, go blue. Dallas Cowboys in the NFL. That's who I always rooted for. Those JCPenney uniforms, with the helmets and shit. I had the Cowboys. The Cubs fan.
There we go. Okay.
Got 2 kids. Work at UPS. Married to my beautiful wife Kelly. Got to say her name. In my spare time, I like going to golf. Usually try to go once a weekend.
What's your handicap?
15 or 16 right now, I think.
Marco doesn't know what that means.
I absolutely know what that means.
No.
Most golf courses are what? They're 72 or 74. I can't remember. That means he's
72.
shooting 15 over. Bam.
72.
Wow.
Bam.
Wow.
Usually they're 72. They're no more than 72. Like hanging out with my kids. I think I already said that, so you can delete that out of there, Tyler.
You just want to tell him what to do. That's all this is.
Swimming.
That's all he was obsessed with the last time. He's all like, edit this. I don't want this in here. Say this about me.
Now we're just going to leave it all in.
So, Brian, you grew up in Illinois, right, your whole life?
Yes, in the hometown I grew up in, I think it's the only farmer city in the world.
Okay.
And
So,
Farmer City, Illinois. My dad was a farmer. My mom worked at the bank there. She's retired. I have 2 brothers, or I have a brother and a sister.
So you grew up in Illinois, and you are a fan of the Michigan Wolverines and the Dallas in Texas Cowboys. You got some fucking explaining to do, pal, because that
He has a
no
lot of
sense.
explaining to do.
Not only should you root for the
Okay,
shitty Bears
Cowboys,
and the shitty University of Illinois Fighting Illini, but you don't.
No, never. No.
Not a Bears fan.
I don't even like the fact that the colors for my kids are the same colors as the Bears and the Illini.
Okay, I like that about you, but
I don't
what the
like
fuck,
that.
man?
I don't even like that. I buy it because it's for my kids and stuff, but the Dallas Cowboys, growing up, Danny White on TV all the time, the Cowboys were always on TV, and that's who I chose. My dad was never a big football fan, so I just got to choose my own. And
You chose
my brother.
both at the bottom of the barrel.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
there is absolutely nothing wrong with that, sir.
Like
Marco,
5,
you
6,
just
7
learned
years
what
old,
football was this year.
when I was 5, 6, 7 years old, somewhere around there, I had those JCPenney jerseys. Nice. Let's go.
Brag, you got name brand clothes as a kid. Very nice.
Well, we got a lot to like unpack with Brian because not only does he pick fucked up teams, he also decorates his putter and his drink.
Yes, accessorize, motherfucker. Have some respect on that. You got to look good, right?
Now you do have a crazy koozie collection, and a few of us learned before from talking to you that you buy koozies. Kind of a serial killer move, if I'm being honest.
It very well could be, but
You're not even denying it.
There's a story. It could be. Who knows? I don't know why. I always buy. I don't know. I collect them. I like to collect them. That's my
Best
koozies.
koozies are free koozies.
But if I see one and I like it, I'm like, okay, I gotta have that. Oh, that's cool because there's an occasion for every single one of them.
Do you have a
Really?
tuxedo koozie?
Ooh,
I probably do.
I bet that's highly sought after.
I probably have.
That's fancy.
I have one that looks like a golf bag, but it's like a real hard plastic even.
What's your oldest koozie?
Ooh.
Yeah, where did all this stem from?
He's gonna start naming them off like
when I just
five
started
lines.
drinking, probably in my 20, 21, somewhere around there, I started getting them at gas stations and shit because I always liked having them because your hand will get wet. Whenever you're in the hot, humid Illinois outside drinking beer, Iowa weather, your beer sweats, and I don't like that on my hands. So I would go out to a party or something, and I would stop at the gas station, get beer. Shit, I forgot a koozie, so I'd fucking pick one up. It's just, I like it, and if I see one that I like, I'll grab it.
Surprised you don't
I've
have the
several hundred.
dual walled one, like
Dual.
Yeti makes.
I have one. I have
One
two
of
of
these.
those. I have
You
one
know.
of those.
But
Yeah,
do you
I've
have the
got
ones
those.
for cans?
Yeah, I got the one. I got
That's
one
so
for cans,
cool.
and I have one for bottles.
They make one
Brian.
for bottles.
So it's off the
20.
open.
What does one
Yeah.
of those Yeti ones cost? 20, 30, $40?
$20, I think. But I had a gift card. I had a gift card to a Gander Mountain or
If
something.
you spend more than $5 on a koozie, that should be the last koozie you ever buy. That's like the Rolls Royce of koozies.
It should
Like,
be. You would think.
I bought the cheap Walmart one that's the knockoff of the Yeti, and it was like $6 on sale.
I'm not a doctor, but I own a pair of scrubs from Halloween. I feel like I'm qualified to prescribe you or diagnose you with this. You're addicted. You have an addiction to koozies. You need help.
Yes.
I don't know if there's a
Yep.
support group for
Yep,
you, honestly.
My wife would agree completely with you.
I think
and
she's
my-
kind of an
my
enabler.
Putterhead covers. Yeah, my Putterhead covers too. I
You
got
know
like
what?
30 of
As a
those.
matter of fact, hold on. One of the first fucking things they showed me when I met them at Kilroy's, they pulled out two fucking koozies. One was said, "Here we go." The other one had said Heartland 2.0.
Yeah.
They made them for the event.
No. One of them said, "Here we go," and then the other one's on the other side of it. It said, "Hello, hello, hello."
Oh, that's what it was.
And then there was another one that I had, and on both sides of it, it said "Yikes." It was all black, white letters. It said "Yikes."
I want one of those.
I might have it down here.
Ronnie, you are enabling the problem.
Hey,
I had a
after
lady
talking to
on
him
that
about
thing.
how passionate he is about koozies, and he started collecting when he was around my age, I might just start collecting koozies.
Oh shit!
Oh,
Good
they're
They're
idea.
great, man.
Save your money, pay your taxes,
used to
blow
have
your money
one.
on funner stuff than that.
What are
I
they?
mean, I have to
$2
blow my money on a laptop. so.
$2 at a bar. I mean,
Yeah,
It's not
you can
that
get them
bad.
cheap. I'll get one from a bar if I go somewhere and travel. I'll grab one, drink out of it for a while, and have it as a memory.
I used to print those. They're pretty cheap.
Somebody
to make.
always said, I was listening to some show or the news or something, but it said that always, whenever you go somewhere, don't buy like a T-shirt or a hat or some shit like that. Just buy something that's simple and you'll use.
Makes sense.
So
What, Tanner? You still have that same
And that's
issue?
usually the cheapest thing it's usually the cheapest thing there for sale. So why not?
I just can't. I'm
He
out of
sold me.
ideas.
He sold me.
Yeah.
He's,
I
he is
need-
flabbergasted right now.
You all need help. If you're spending, I have a big box, and my roommate's moving out right now, so it's packed away. But I have a box of probably like 100 koozies. Okay,
Can I have one?
sure. You know why?
100?
Because they're free. I've spent $0.00, and usually they came with free beer inside of them. And guess what?
Yeah.
They're from weddings and grad parties and keg for having a baby and
Hold on.
See, I don't have
What?
many of
Hold
those.
on.
I don't have many.
funerals. We got fucking funeral koozies in Wisconsin.
Wait. I think what everybody's missing here is Tanner also collects koozies, so he's wrong.
I collect them, no problem. But I don't spend money on them.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're only
I'm looking
half
for
right, Tanner.
handouts.
How old are you, Tanner?
I'm 25.
Yeah,
You
when
got
I was
plenty of
25,
time.
They didn't hand fucking
You're
When I
right.
was
They
25,
handed
they
out
didn't
bags
hand
of
koozies
fucking
out.
like Molly out when you were 25.
no.
It was the 80s.
I not where I was.
Oh,
They no. They handed
hold on. They
out
didn't have
chew.
Molly in the 80s.
They handed out chew.
Oh, okay. Well, I know people that collect the
Every
tin.
bar you
They're
go to.
addicts too.
It was
Very
I don't
much
even
so.
remember what it was. It was some cheap shit. But I had so much of
Ex-tin
it. I
addict
didn't even
here.
chew. I didn't even
You just
chew.
wanted
And I
that-
had so many logs.
Brian,
just wanted that ring in your pocket.
We're gonna let your problem go. This is a bad friend. I'm being a bad friend, but we've got to move on. We're gonna bore the listeners with your problems. Of all the problems to have, though, I mean it's pretty mellow. I'm not worried about your safety right now. But if you start buying like $40 koozies or $80 koozies, we're gonna have to have intervention. I'll drive
No.
down to that shithole.
The only reason
I'll pay
I
the
have
tolls the whole way to go see you.
The only reason I have my $20 one is just because it was a gift card and I didn't want anything else there. Bam.
Yeah.
Move on.
So technically, he didn't spend money on it. Oh,
Ooh.
Wow. All right, Brian, we're going to get into a little bit of the podcast topics that we had scheduled. We did this last time.
oh shit!
We really learned a lot about Marco, future NFL analyst. We're going to go division by division for all 8 divisions. I just gave you another hint, Marco, of how many teams there are.
Jesus.
This week, we're on the NFC North, and we're going to start out with the same exercise we did last time. Marco, please let the listeners know what 4 teams are in the NFC North.
Okay, this one I kind of know because everybody
You
around here
kinda
likes
know.
the people around here like them, which is the Bears.
And where are they at?
What do you mean, Chicago?
Yep.
Oh, the Packers. Hold on, I got this. The Vikings and Detroit. Detroit
Detroit who?
Lions.
Holy shit. I am impressed, man.
Only because I'm
Way
in
to
the
go.
middle. I'm in the middle of all that shit, so everybody here only picks those teams to cheer for.
Except for you. You are
Except for me. Let's go Browns.
Browns.
The dog pound.
You
So
were never an Marco?
Remixing.
what's that, Brian?
You
Start
never
again,
had-
Brian.
Sorry, you never had an NFL team, Marco?
Okay, this might make you mad. So my mom's from Texas, and I grew up like a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
I was legit. Like I have the starter coat, and it said my name on the back with stitching. I still have that coat. I might have to take a picture and put it out there. I was a legitimate fan. Emmitt Smith, Michael Irving, Troy Aikman, like Daryl Johnston, that whole crew. Like I watched those guys. So I was once upon a time in high school a Cowboys fan. Sorry, bro. I jumped ship.
No, you're fine. It happens. Some
All right.
people can't handle it.
Let's jump in through these teams. We only got about 20 minutes left or so. I'm going to start up in Green Bay because, well, I can because I'm the host. I get to do that. We've had a bad couple of years last couple of years.
I'll say one thing.
Yes.
I've always hated the Packers more than anything,
Tyler,
even
can
though
you
I didn't.
please. 5-minute pause. We don't need him for this NFL segment. We got a new coach. We got, what's about to be a brand new defense, really. We spent a lot of money on our defense in the draft and in free agency. We retooled a little bit on offense, but not much. Got a couple key positions filled in the draft, but a lot of guys are wondering what's going to happen there. And our new coach is like barely older than our quarterback. And I'm not going to lie, I don't know what one's a better looking and sexy son of a bitch because they're both good looking dudes.
Oh God.
The problem is our coach
haven't seen
did just tear his fucking Achilles before his first game. So he'll be the first coach to win a Super Bowl in a wheelchair.
It's like
Oh,
Braun
God.
Stark.
I would love to hear what everyone else thinks about my beloved Packers before I give a prediction on their record. But Tyler, let's start with you, man.
I honestly don't know what to think. You guys are retooling so much. It's like almost trying to predict what the Chiefs are going to do with their brand new defense as well. So It's
Okay.
like, oh, I don't know. You're going to have to come back to me for a record guess.
All right. Trash man, what do you think? If you don't,
I
you dare
think-
compare them to your shitty Oakland Raiders.
No, I'm actually going to talk actual Packers. I think it's going to be interesting seeing the difference from last year to this year with Aaron Rodgers not being, at the line, changing everything the way he used to.
And
Because that's
tour
what
and
he's
all.
good at. Like, he's one of the smartest quarterbacks, if not the smartest quarterback to ever play the game. So it's
I agree. What do we got
almost
for a record?
concerning.
What do you predict for a record, Trash man?
I honestly think it'll be a 10-6 year. And
Okay.
if not, it'll be 9-7. I think they're wild card or division winners.
Fair enough. They're in a tough division. I'll give them that. Brian,
Yes.
you got any thoughts on my beloved Packers?
I am not a Packers fan at all. My wife, all her family is from Wisconsin.
Your wife is just a beautiful and intelligent woman.
She has her kids
Oh, boy.
to be Packers fans. It drives me nuts. My question, did they get anybody? I haven't paid attention to it much. Like, I hardly ever get on the computer much, just usually my phone. Have they gotten Rodgers any weapons?
We drafted a tight end, Jay Sternberger out of Texas A&M in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
Have they got any? Is the line going to be?
Line's going to be solid.
Yeah.
We have the best
Bakhtiari
left tackle
challenge
in
over
all
there.
football. The only question we have is on right
big thing
tackle.
with them is- The big thing with them, though, is injuries, right?
We've struggled with some injuries down the stretch, especially keeping some wide receivers healthy, yeah.
Do you think it's the cheese?
I don't. Nope, not for 1 second do I think it's a cheese.
No.
Cheese is
the
amazing.
dairy.
Anything,
dairy
those guys need more cheese.
I don't know. It could be the cheese.
Dairy
Marco.
makes your bones strong.
Shut the fuck up. Brian, what do you predict for a record? Just throw something out there. If you're wrong, we will go back to this and humiliate you later. No pressure.
10-6.
I like it.
But
It was their first playoff game.
it might be a wild card to get in.
It's fine.
Like,
We won the Super Bowl last time as a
Maybe.
wild card.
yeah. But if everybody can stay healthy, they'll do 10-6. They'll do good.
Marco, I don't even want to hear your opinion. I just want to hear your record.
I actually have an opinion that you might like. From listening to Pat's podcast today, he was talking about Aaron Rodgers. It seems like he's in really good spirits. Usually when people are happy, they play better. I heard, obviously he's got a cannon. So as long as he stays healthy and focused, I think they might actually make a wild card spot.
All right.
I'll let you have that.
Tyler, coming back to you, man. What do you got?
Ooh. I think it's a solid 8 wins.
Oh,
Yikes.
leave
Oh,
that
tough
one.
in Nebraska with your lack of an NFL team.
Because you got Bears, you face Chiefs. Oh, it's rough. it's a rough go.
I've-
You have a rough September. and
I heard
October.
last year. I heard
Back to the
the
game with
Bears picked up that Khalil Mack guy. How'd that work out, Ronnie?
employee number 52. I have some, animosity.
Can't
towards
wait
the
to talk
Bears.
about your division.
I could wrap up the Packers really quick. I'm just going to say this. This is what I'm going to call the year of Danica. She's going to be on the TV as much as Rodgers probably. And as long as Rodgers is smiling and Danica's smiling, Rodgers is going to be great. Packers are going to be good. 11-5.
If he gets hurt,
I'm going to
she'll be
see
on
us in the
TV.
NFC Championship game at least. We got to get through the Rams. I think the
Gotta get through the
Bears are going to fall
Rams.
apart. I love Chuck Pagano as their defensive coordinator. We're going to move to them next, but I think that defense is going to be dog shit. Khalil Mack might be their only weapon. I
Fun
see
fact.
us walking through the NFC North, and I'm going to go as far as saying it's going to be the weakest division in the NFC. I'm saying right now.
Tanner.
Wow, that wasn't biased at all.
I'm
kind of
throwing out
agree.
a bold statement. I put asses in the seats in my comments, Marco.
I'll tell you what, your Green Bay Packers are either going to lose to the Vikings or the Lions at least twice. One of the two.
Oh shit! 2 losses to the Lions. I know that's bad.
We did that last year.
So we're moving on to the Bears.
Moving on to the goddamn Bears in Chicago, eh?
Hot
Ciao,
take.
Bears.
I don't think Khalil Mack's going to make it the full year.
Me neither.
I don't know. I
Lower
real
body
inter-
problems on such an explosive, big human being does not work out in the NFL.
I don't
Homeboy's
really
making too
he's
much
the guy.
I don't see
that,
him
Brian?
finishing it through the year.
What's that, Brian?
I don't think Trubisky's the guy.
Me
No.
I
neither.
really don't.
Not at all.
Ronnie, didn't you share today that he's the best odds to win the MVP this year?
I don't want him to be the MVP. I just shared that because Derek Carr is in it. So, I mean,
But that factoid you shared with us was that he had the best odds to win the MVP, right?
no, those were the most bet on players to win MVP,
Oh,
which means that
okay.
they're the biggest long shots
I got you.
that have
I
a
got you.
realistic opportunity.
I just didn't pay attention. Well, I would agree with it then. I don't think Trubisky is anything better than your shitbag quarterback out in Oakland. I think he's a game manager at best,
think
and I
he's
think
worse.
he's got average weapons.
I think
I
he's
mean,
a
at least
lot
Derek
worse
Carr
than
is somewhere
Derek
through it. He has cried 100% less on the sidelines than Derek Carr, though.
Who's their running back now?
In Chicago, Jordan Howard.
Yep.
That's
And
He was there last
Tevin
year,
Coleman, right? Or no,
Terry
Terry Cohen.
I'm loading
He's an
the
explosive little
Bears
shit.
roster now.
I mean, their running game is the only thing they have going on offense because their quarterback can't throw worth shit.
Right. And their defense
I
kind of
mean,
got. We
their
took Adrian
quarterback
Amos.
can
Why
run
can't
better
Chicago
than
ever have a good quarterback? That's the real question.
That's fuck 'em.
What?
That's why.
I'm just asking. Like apparently that's like a thing that they never have a good quarterback.
Jim McMahon.
They've ruined quarterbacks since the 80s.
That's what I meant. Like McMahon's last one, right?
Rex Grossman is their last quarterback to take them to a Super Bowl. Think about that.
Come on,
Yeah.
let's
Sexy,
not
sexy.
overlook Jay Cutler.
He was an average quarterback. Nobody threw more interceptions to the Packers. than
Hey,
Jay Cutler.
he was awesome on the league.
Yeah, sure.
I
I'm
honestly,
saying they're a 7-9 team this year. What do you got, Tyler?
I honestly think it honestly hinges on the Chuck Pagano Khalil Mack relationship, and see who feeds off of who for info and feel in the game. But I think it'll be an 8-8 season too.
Fair enough.
Could be more bountiful, but I just honestly don't think they'll get their defense on all cylinders in time.
Ronnie, what do you got?
6-10.
Oh shit. Okay.
Ooh,
I
Brian?
don't think the defense can hold up.
Brian, you got any thoughts on your hometown?
7 wins. 7 wins.
You're not going to predict losses. They might tie.
Okay.
Marco, you got anything on the Bears?
Yeah, I think they're going to have a few wins this year, including wins over the Packers and the Lions. I'm going to give them 8 wins.
Do they beat the Raiders?
Everybody beats the Raiders, bro.
Not everybody.
All right, Brian, are we going to Detroit or are we going to Minnesota?
They're the new Lions.
Let's go to Detroit.
All right. I got a couple friends who are Detroit Lions fans, and in our little group we do. What I have to say about Detroit Lions is they're starting to get a little attitude because they kind of smoked us at the end of the season. And right now, I think I'm rooting against them as hard as I've ever rooted against any team ever. And I'm a guy who absolutely hates the Bears and Vikings. I think that Matt Patricia is a decent defensive coordinator. I think he's an average head coach. And I don't think they're going to be able to piece anything together. They're going to be mediocre at best. 8-8. I think they're going to be second in the division, though.
I agree with that. 8-8 is probably right where they're going to lie, which is going to be a win for the city of Detroit. So,
Tyler,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Schedule. Let's see.
That's cheating.
Oh.
How can we get to look at the schedule? I don't get to look at the
'Cause I-
schedule.
Oh,
Because I know football.
damn. Holy shit.
so do
Obviously
I.
not, because you don't know the schedule, bitch.
Wow.
It's the same schedule as the Packers, just different
Right.
order.
Exactly. Oh, dude, easy 10 wins. Easy.
10 wins?
Easy
I think
10
they'll
wins.
No.
go 8 as well.
Easy 10 wins.
Who was saying 10 wins as well? Brian?
No, he said 8-8.
Nothing's easy in Detroit. 8-8. Nothing's.
They couldn't even
easy
blow
in
up their old
Detroit.
stadium correctly. That
Right,
is the
exactly.
city of mediocrity. And with it, we're in the same division as
Yeah.
Minnesota.
Don't they? They got.
I
somebody
also-
this year in the
you also
draft,
have to
didn't
take
they?
it-
What's that, Brian?
Who they got somebody in the draft this year, didn't they?
They took TJ Hawkinson from Iowa. He was an awesome tight end that I wanted the Packers to draft, but
Tight end,
But
Again-
they do shitty with tight ends.
never utilize tight ends. They've let every good tight end slip through the fucking cracks.
Eric Ebron is one of the best tight ends in the NFL, and he didn't do shit in Detroit.
Here's
Yeah.
they faced Giants in Tampa. So there's 2 wins there, I feel.
They can be an average team. I think, honestly, they
I
can
don't
peak
know,
at
though. Yeah, they're.
Marco, what do you got? What do you got for Detroit?
I only think they get 6, but I do think that Iowa boy might have a chance at trying to shine a little bit. Tight end university, man.
I hope he does well. All right, that leads us to probably the team I hate the most, the Minnesota Vikings. I have nothing good to say about the state of Minnesota or the city of Minneapolis or that shitty Death Star looking stadium TCF Bank. Fuck that entire city. Just screw it.
Can
I
you
hate
remind me where you were supposed to be on Sunday?
where I was supposed to be on Sunday?
Correct.
Originally.
I was supposed to be in Burnsville, Minnesota.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
Yeah, I didn't choose where that was going to be. I just go because I'm a fan. We're talking about the Pat McAfee stand-up for everyone wondering, but we don't need to bring up hard feelings, do we?
No.
They're not hard feelings. It's gonna come back around.
Yeah, and I'll go to Iowa instead of Minnesota.
There you go.
All right, I'm going to let you guys go first because I could just saw these fuckers down. But Brian, why don't you start us off? What's going to happen in Minnesota?
They're going to win the division.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
But that's it. They'll get out bounced out of the first round. That's my
Okay. Trash man.
Personally, I think that 2 teams out of this division are going to make the playoffs. It's going to be the Packers. It's going to be the Vikings. And it's a coin flip on who wins. I think that the Minnesota Vikings have enough decent weapons to get themselves there, but I don't think they have enough to make a push, if
Okay.
that makes sense.
So how many wins?
I'd probably say 9 to 10.
Okay. Marco,
I was going
football
10.
expert.
Yeah, 10.
All right. Who's their quarterback?
You know, the guy. the
The
fucking guy with the
Kirk
arm.
Cousins.
Yeah, that's the guy.
I know you were it was on the tip of your tongue.
It's right
Sorry.
there.
Let's
TA?
go.
TA, what you got to say about the fucking Vikings?
if their O line and receiving core can stay healthy, it's easily 10 wins, and it'll be the other half of my division winner. But yeah, I think anything north of 10 wins, I think they're capable of.
All right, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna predict some mean shit about this team because I hate them and I can. Quarterback injured week 4. Starting wide receiver that isn't Adam Thielen injured week 2. Anthony
Awesome addition, by
Barr,
the way.
2 blown Achilles probably. He probably won't play.
That's both of them.
Their running back Dalvin Cook's been kind of average and hurt all the time, so he'll probably be average and hurt all the time. I'm predicting that the Vikings go 6-10, and I'm also predicting that Mike Zimmer, right? Is that their football head coach? I'm almost positive.
I think it
I
is.
believe so.
Oh, but I was supposed to know the quarterback.
I'm struggling with his first name. I know it's Zimmer.
Mike.
He's probably gonna
Mike,
have more eye problems, and he's gonna get fired.
So you think Kirk
Mike
Cousins is going to get owned by Khalil Mack in the Chicago Bears defense week 4?
No, I think he's gonna meet the new Smiths, Zadarius and Preston Smith, and then I think in week 4 he's gonna get polished off by Khalil Mack.
Okay.
I hate Minnesota. I hate the Vikings. I never hope they win. When they play the Bears, I hope they tie. I never want them to do well. I am happier all around when the Vikings lose. And this year is no exception.
You kind of look like
Remix.
What's that, Marco?
you guys. You kind of look like the king, right?
Did you forget to pay the internet bill this month, buddy?
tell your hamster.
Oh,
what
you
else is.
did, but everybody else did.
Oh, God. Mute your mic.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You sound like you're talking from the northern part of Minnesota with that shitty internet connection. Brian, we have another little segment we wanted to do, and we got to be quick. But if you had to propose any rule change for any of the major sports, basketball, football, hockey, or basketball, right? I said them. You know the major sports. If you had to propose any rule change in any of the sports, what would it be?
Can I do golfing?
Sure, just for you.
I would legalize gambling and golfing.
Let's talk about the rule and the actual gameplay.
Oh, okay.
But I'm with you on the legalizing gambling.
Okay, well, I'll
Yes.
do something else then. Man,
We can come back to it.
what do I?
I kind of like having them on the spot.
All right.
I don't like it. It's really, you really did.
What's your favorite
I haven't
sport
thought
to
of
watch?
this one
I
for a
like
while.
to see you sweat.
To change, to make it better, right?
Whatever you
Man,
want.
he's all
Whatever
chafed up
you
in them
want.
brown shorts.
Doesn't have to make it better, I guess.
I would make it so in baseball, both American League and National League pitchers have to bat.
Okay, you
Yeah.
you took my
So you
my rule change, and I love that about you. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's what you get for putting him on the
It's
spot.
a part of the
Marco?
game, man.
Marco, what do you got for a rule change? This was your idea.
I think that there's a lot. I wouldn't say corruption, but there's definitely not a fair playing field when it comes to MMA, and I think that if that should be an Olympic sport because it's one of the oldest sports, if not, it is, but it isn't. You know, it's getting in there and figuring out who can win in combat. And I think that's something that we should be able to figure out who is truly, honestly, the best in the world, and we can't do that right now because they can't co-promote together.
They made a movie
So-
about that. It's called Warrior. You should look it up. It's a documentary. Kurt Angle was in it.
Check that out.
Trash Man, rule change. What do you got?
Wait,
I would make the NFL do what?
What?
No?
Okay.
Go ahead.
So you remember the XFL, how they bless you. The XFL, how they used to do like the scrum to get the ball at the beginning of the game. And it just
Yeah.
caused all those
Yeah.
injuries. I would
Yes.
bring that back in the NFL.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%, Ronnie. That was the only thing you would watch the XFL for was the beginning of the game.
Exactly. That
All
would
right.
just be amazing.
I agree. Tyler, what do you got?
I want to bring back running kickoffs, in both the full set 5-on-5 on each side and on onside kicks, because
I like
onside
that.
kicks are no longer fun.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. I think in basketball, there should be a 4-point shot. And I also think that alley-oops from the other side of half court should be worth 3. I've always thought that. The Heat, and as much as I hated that team, LeBron James probably had like at least 2 alley-oops a game that came from the other team's free throw line. And I thought that was such an impressive frickin' play. It should have been worth 3 frickin' points. Those plays always blew me away. Brian, you're like sweating out of your eyeballs right now, shaking your head at me.
I know. No 4-point play. No.
Why?
4-point shot. I don't know.
When you're that old school, old balls player with the Larry
Yeah.
Bird shorts at the YMCA,
Oh, dude, I had those shorts.
adapt and change,
my whitey
Brian.
tighties. When I was a kid, we wore whitey tighties. I don't know what these kids are wearing these days.
Jesus.
But in junior high, our basketball shorts, you could see our whitey tighties. They were hanging out because
Yeah, but like when you went to elementary school, there were still segregated bathrooms.
Yikes.
That's an age joke, not a race joke. It's an age joke.
That's why I became a Michigan fan.
Oh God, fucking Michigan. We're running out of time here, guys. Brian, it's been a blast having you on. We're gonna have you on more in the future, and a lot more guys in the crew. We got to cut this one short because I got tickets to go see Spider-Man with my buddy John, who's been watching this happen. And well, quite frankly, we're out of beer, and we gotta get
Hi,
going.
John.
No, this is my buddy John. He doesn't
Isn't
live
he
with me.
moving
He
out?
pretty much lives with me sometimes. So he's a dairy farmer. He's got to milk cows in the morning, but we're going to the 9:30 showing of Spider-Man. So
Podcast out on the go for a couple hours.
yeah, we're gonna get going. I really appreciate
guys.
everyone listening. Brian, thanks for being here. Next time we have you on, you have to have Kelly. Actually, probably we'll just have Kelly and we'll just have you watch.
She won't listen to the other one when she was on.
Why don't you plug your
Because somebody
Twitter?
called me she said because somebody called her a bitch.
You know it wasn't me.
No, I don't. I just remember it was because of whenever she was telling the story about how she gave away she ate my leftover food from Kilroy's.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
They're like,
Brian.
"You're savage."
On Twitter, you are what? At BK Rook?
Rook.
BK.
RUCH.
I had to spell that one. I don't like spelling out Twitter handles, but you have a very hard to spell name, in my opinion.
Yep.
Of course.
RUCH.
We got Trash Man Ronnie. We got
Hi.
Tyler Allen, our man out in the cave in Nebraska. What is Marcos El Guapo?
Que pasa, primo?
Que pasa, primo? And I'm at Vanilla Gorilla. We're obviously going to plug that and everything on social, so don't worry about spelling and shit. We really appreciate you guys listening. If you have any suggestions or tips or feedback or want to tell us how bad we are, we'll welcome it because any pup is good pup. But hey, you guys have a great night. Ronnie, dude, you look like a brown-haired Hulk Hogan, and I don't even have a joke right now. I'm just really proud of you. Brian, are you raising your hand?
He ends
Yes.
it on a compliment.
Brian, please, what are you raising your hand about?
I just wanted to get in there. Everybody have a happy 4th.
Oh, hey, well, appreciate it, man. Yeah, everyone definitely have a happy 4th of July. Be safe. If you're going to light bottle rockets out of your butthole, just make sure you got the long-stemmed ones. That's a really big thing.
And wear your underwear while you
And
do it because
shave.
your butt
And
cheeks
shave.
hurt afterwards.
And shave. That'll be our parting words from the wise Brian. He's like 74. If you're going to light bottle rockets out of your butthole, shave it. Have a great time, guys. We'll see you later.
See
All
you
right.
guys.
I do got to
Later.
get